Slam21 here. I'll be talking about staples that you want to run in your Inferno deck. So let's get right off to it with the first 6 cards card slots that will be filled in your Inferno deck. First 3 are Inferno Archfiend. This card will always be ran at 3. Only time it won't be ran at 3 is when Konami takes it away, which I doubt they will, because it's not really that broken. I mean, it's a very good card. It's just not very broken. I mean, you special summon it, they can easily remove it. Special summon it. It only has 1800 attack, which is a higher end one, but still. I mean, you only have, it's not broken. It's levelly balanced somewhat. I mean, the fact that you can search any Inferno card is kind of crazy, but it's not like you can search any card. Next is, just dropped it. Inferno Necromancer. Now, this card should be played at 3. There are some decks that don't play it at 3, and I honestly am going to be talking to someone that runs this at 2. They run 2 and a tour guide. I kind of want to talk to them about it, but I can understand a little bit about it, why they would, because they see it a little bit more than I do because they play a Beetle build, which I'll get to talk about a little bit in this video. But this card, if you're just starting out, you'll want to play this at 3. You want to play both of these at 3 if you're just starting out. Later on, you can probably change if you want to take Necromancer to 2, but more than likely you won't, depending on what you're going to be playing. Next is Inferno Mirage. This card isn't really a staple. You can play Inferno decks without it, but this card is still a very good card. If you play it, be smart about it. Let's get rid of these, because these are the staples that you basically have to play. And I'm sorry to say, but you have to play them. Now the numbers, no, those are different. Inferno Mirage, you don't necessarily have to play it. You can play builds without it. I mean, it's nice to have. It's not always necessary. Sometimes it's a dead card, especially if you draw it first turn. So I recommend keeping this either at 1 or 2. Don't ever play this at 3. 3, you're going to be getting a dead draw a lot. And if you're not, you're just lucky and you haven't gotten that hand yet. Because Inferno Mirage is good late game, not early game. If it's early game, it's pretty dead. So that's my little talk about this. I already mentioned about launcher and all that stuff in the previous video, so yeah. Inferno Mirage is a good card, but not good at 3. 3, it'll be dead way too much. And if it's at 3, you're going to be running the loop, and you're going to be stupid and be the person running the Inferno loop where everyone else can just assess failure. Continue. So, Inferno Mirage is good, just you got to be careful with him. Alright. Next card, there's 2, is Armageddon Knight and Dark Grepher. I don't own the Dark Grepher. I wish I did. But, Armageddon Knight and Dark Grepher, you can decide which one you want to play, but you're going to want to play one of them, or one of each. If you want to play Dark Grepher, you're probably going to be going for a Beetle build, and you're probably going to run 2 or 3 of them. Armageddon Knight, Armageddon Knight I like a lot, but I would not just want Armageddon Knight in my deck. I would want Armageddon Knight and Dark Grepher. Because Armageddon Knight's good, just not as good as I want. Because I can't discard. If I get in first turn, like if I get my reinforcement of the army first turn, I would rather go Dark Grepher so I can discard the card and go ham, so I don't. So That's just my little thing about that. I would rather have Dark Grepher at beginning and him late game than Dark Grepher late game and him beginning, because him just being able to summon then send is a lot helpful, because late game you're probably not going to have a monster to pay the cost for. So Armageddon Knight's better late game than he is early game. Well, somewhat, because I mean he's good whenever, because it's just free sent to the grave. So this is another. Those two are staples that you want to run, and with General coming out, if you're going to be doing the Seed build, I would recommend just going straight for 2 Greffers, because you can special summon him by discarding your General, getting your General engraved, then special summoning, using Dark Grepher as a bet, discard, and send another card to the grave. So, Dark Grepher will be a little bit better there, but I also would recommend running just one of these, but also depends on your build. If your build relies on discarding a lot, do Dark Grepher. If you can pay the cost. I like Armageddon Knight just because I can just call a haunted, monster reborn, get the priest, get the card sent to the grave. That's why I like him a little bit better. But I like Dark Grepher at the beginning of the game over Armageddon Knight. That's just my personal preference. Next card that you should be playing is Stygian. Now, you can play Stygian at 1 or 2. That is completely up to you. I play it at 2. I like it at 2. I'm probably the first person to start playing this at 2. I'm not bragging or anything. I'm just saying I'm probably one of the first people to start playing this at 2 just because I like the extra summon so much, and also I like the fact that I can seed with it. And then when I detach it, I can special summon. So, I mean, I just like it. I mean, it's pretty good, and since it banishes itself, I can have it be a target for Levier. That way I can get this back out on the field, seed it again. So, I like it at 2. I don't recommend ever playing this at 3. Playing 1 or 2 is fine. 3, you're stupid. Because you don't need that much. It'll be cloggy. Get it when you don't need it. You'll draw it. And you don't necessarily want to draw him. You just want to get him into your grave with Armageddon Knight, or Foolish Burial, or Dark Grepher. Or your Inferno if you run it, by discarding it. You don't mainly want him on the field or in your hand. You mainly want him in your grave. Now, if you have to summon him, go right ahead. But I don't recommend just trying to get him into hand, because he's better in the grave. I'm saying that right now. He's better in the grave than he is on the field or hand. So, it's up to you if you want to run this at 1 or 2. A lot of people run it at 1, which is understandable. You want your low monster count, or you want to sub it in for something else. I like it at 2 just because any monster I can use with this except for my Armageddon Knight and Dark Grepher. So, yeah, that's not it. Now let's get talking about the big elephant that a lot of people don't want to be poking at. Beetle versus Arc versus Avenger. Which one's better? It's honestly up to your playstyle. I mean, Beetle doesn't fit my playstyle, so Avenger's a better choice for me. But maybe Beetle fits your playstyle, so Beetle's better for you. But it's just player preference, what you like to do. My playstyle fits the Avenger build 100%. I tried to do a somewhat of a Beetle build, didn't work out. And I will say this to most of you out there that play Beetle and that are starting out. Focus on a Beetle build, and I say this, but if you're playing Beetle, don't play Avenger. I mean, I can understand why you would want the extra tuner, but this is also what I say. If you're playing Beetle and you want to run Avenger, run 1. Don't run 2. and be willing to side Avenger out whenever you need to. Because Avenger, this is basically what I see. You either focus on the Avenger when you're playing, or you focus on the Beetle plays. I mean, they don't really work together. You're just focusing on Avenger plays or Beetle plays. And if you run Mirage, you're probably going to be doing the loop when you get Avenger out. And then Beetle is just Beetle. I mean, there are a lot of different ways you can play Inferno. I mean, a lot. I mean, they all revolve around certain cards and certain combos, but what those combos do differ from player to player. But once again, if you're playing a Beetle build, don't run Avenger. And if you do want to run Adventure, run 1. Don't run 2. If you're running 2, there's no point. You're just going to be plugging up with too many tuners and not enough things to sync with. And since these two are different levels, what are you going to do? And I will explain a little bit right now something that you do with Beetle. Just for those of you that don't know, kind of want to know, Beetle, you get Beetle out, use its fed, get the 2. Then you have maybe your Stygiant, Get Knight, or this guy, Archfiend. Maybe you have one of those. Let's say you have the Archfiend. You are going to sync for a Guided Knight, then sync into your level 8. That's it. And that's why I didn't really like the Beetle build. It's because you had to... I mean, this isn't like the only way you can do it. There are multiple ways because you have your 3s, you go for a 5. You can go for your 9 really easily. But this is just one thing I didn't like. The fact that you had to go to the 5th to go to the 8th. The fact that they could bottomless this, warning this, then you're stuck with the Beetle there. To me, that just didn't feel appealing to me because it's like, I just didn't like it. And a lot of times it would just wait for you to sync with this and bottomless your level 8, which happens a lot. But I mean, this is just something that just one of the basic combos you do. You get both Beetles. You sync for a 6, then you sync for an 8. That's basically the baseline for it. Now there are multiple other strategies that I will be talking about in later. But it's just for those of you that want to know one play that you do with Beetle, or why you would play Beetle over Avenger. Beetle has... There's a few things that I want to say about the Beetle build. A Beetle build is more player... how should I word this? With the Beetle build, you can get your play style over more than you can with Avenger. Because Avenger, it's really... the deck is already set. You can't really change the deck too much. Because if you start changing it too much, you're going to start getting consistency issues, summoning issues, cloggy hand issues, everything that's wrong with an Inferno deck. Everything that can go wrong with the Inferno deck normally will if you try to change the Avenger build too much and not compensate with it by adding something in. Like me, I play Raven. I play Raven over Beetle. Why? Because he makes sure that I will have an empty hand. That's basically it. I empty my hand, and he's higher attack, higher level, and I can sync with him. I mean, that's how I compensated for my changes to my deck. I probably, honestly, before I started playing Infernities, I looked up a whole bunch. No one was playing. I don't know if anyone else is right now. I know I've seen one person that deck profile that played Fabled Raven, Highlander, and those are two things that I currently play Highlander just because I need the high level 7, but I'm going to be taking out for a scrap Archfiend because I want to be able to make a level 7, but it has to be a generic level 7, not just only. That's the only thing with Highlander. You have to sync it with this guy when he's a level 3, and him when you have to sync for those, and it's like there's certain stuff that you have to do, and it kind of gets annoying. So I just want generic level 3, so I don't have to worry about too much stuff. But that's the only thing that I want to say. For someone that wants to get their playstyle a little bit more, take a look at the Avenger or the Beetle build. The Avenger build, there's not too much you can change in it. I mean, everyone knows the combo where you go Necromancer, Avenger, Archfiend, sync for 8, and you probably got your launcher off your shirt for your Archfiend, so then you can do it again. Everyone knows that. The Beetle, the one thing that I showed you where you go, get those, sync for 6, sync into 8, that a lot of people know. But then Beetle, there are also a lot of other plays you can do. Because you can go into Sitses a lot, so I'd recommend running 2 Gaias, because you'll probably go into Sits a lot. Then also the Orient Dragon. There's just a lot of stuff that you can do with the Beetle build that you can't do with the an Avenger build. Just because of there hasn't been really a set thing for it, so you're not in a set mindset of what this deck does and whatnot. I mean, the combos are pretty similar. I mean, you can go into level 9 a lot easier and all that, but the Beetle build, there hasn't been really a set build for a Beetle build yet. Only thing that you know about Beetle build is a run Beetles. That's the only way you can define a Beetle build. If it run Beetles, it's a form of a Beetle build. Avenger, if it runs Mirage and Avenger, it's an Avenger build. If it doesn't run either of those, it's probably a Seed build. But then, if you're running a Seed build, I don't know why you won't want Beetle, because you're going to be seeding. You can use those for a seed, and if you need a synchro. So, there's just a few things that I wanted to say about that. I do want to talk about one thing. If you guys want to run Tour Guide, I have to remind you of this. Tour Guide's effect negates the effect of the monster summon, and that monster can also not be used as a synchro material. Tour Guide can, so if you can go for a 5, but 5 or 4, depending on if you run Armory on. But it's like, say you go Necromancer, special summon Necromancer using Tour Guide's effect. His effect is negated until he's resummoned. Also, he can't be used as a synchro material. Now, there's a video I've seen of a guy going Tour Guide. This is what he did. Summon Tour Guide. Summon Tour Guide. Special summon Tour Guide. You gotta Beetle out on the field by some means. Then he syncs for an 8. And I literally wrote in like, you can't sync for Void Ogre because of Tour Guide's effect. Or it's really a condition, the fact that it can't be synchro summoned with. That's just what I'm saying. Be careful with Tour Guide. Tour Guide can only be used for seeding. So if you need your Leviair, Tour Guide's your answer there. If you need your a monster that, I mean, if you just want to get your Archfiend out on the field, that's a good thing. I mean, you can seed with it and all that stuff. But just be careful when you run Tour Guide, because I just don't want to see Inferno players making that mistake and taking it to a YTS and making dumbasses themselves and making everyone that plays Inferno look stupid. That's all I'm saying. Please be careful when you play Tour Guide. I mean, Tour Guide is good, but just be careful. Please be careful. I don't want to see dumbass moves with Tour Guide. Tour Guide, if you run one Tour Guide, you're not going to run out of targets unless you, for some reason, put all your necromancers in your grave. Don't know why you would. But it's just, you won't run, with one Tour Guide, you'll never run out of targets, so you don't need it anymore. So, if you want to run one Tour Guide, go right ahead. I don't recommend running two. Two Tour Guide will slow your decks down, because of the fact that it negates the effect. The fact that it negates the effect. And there isn't really a good level 3 out there besides Leviair. I mean, mid-game Tour Guide could be pretty good. But an early game Tour Guide would suck. So that's why I say run Tour Guide at 1 and get it mid-game so you can see for your Leviair, because there isn't really a good rank 3 right now for Infernos. I mean, you got your Saul ones, you got your ones that double their attack, and you got Leviair. You just got to be careful with it. That's all I'm going to say. I'm also going to mention one other card that I see a lot of people using, which I think is actually a pretty good tech to use, is Summoner Monk. Because, let's see here, when this card cannot be tributed. When this card is normal summoned or flip summoned, it changes its defensive position. Once per turn, you can discard one spell card to summon one level 4 lower monster from your deck. Discard that it cannot attack this turn. So basically, get him out, discard maybe a dead rope reinforcement or something, then special summon your Archfiend. Get Archfiend's fed. Hopefully because you just cleared your hand. If not, you can seek for Lava Chain. Then make graveyard setup or top deck something. So I think he's a good tech just because he has the ability to clear hands. He's also level 4. And he's a dark, so it's not going to really affect too many with your sinking, because most of them just need a dark tuner or a dark monster, so he won't affect you too bad if you want to go for the seed version. That's really it. There's not much else I can say besides side deck. You'll want to be careful with it. So yeah, this is Crystalline21. Welcome to the Inferno. Hope you learned something here. Think 2 steps ahead, play 1 step back, and you'll never go wrong. This is Crystalline21. Peace.